It was a sight that could easily go unnoticed. A waitress standing behind a counter in a small diner, tears silently slipping down her cheeks as she cradled her sick daughter in her arms. But for one man, a stranger, this moment would change the course of both their lives. What would happen if one simple act of kindness had the power to turn everything around? What if someone who once helped you without asking for anything in return held the key to your future? Where are you watching from? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more heartwarming stories. Lily Thompson, 32, was a woman burdened by the weight of life's struggles. The lines on her face weren't just age, they were the story of survival, of sacrifices made daily to keep her and her 7-year-old daughter Ella afloat. Working double shifts at Rosie's Diner, a weathered establishment on the south side of Chicago, had become her routine. The diner was no stranger to people who lived paycheck to paycheck, with the air thick with the scent of grease and the hum of quiet desperation. The regulars, truckers, and locals tipped in loose change, but for Lily, it was enough to keep them going. Ella, her bright-eyed little girl, was the reason she fought. Her laughter was like music to Lily's ears, and her curious nature kept even the hardest days bearable. But for weeks, Ella had been sick, a relentless cough, a fever that wouldn't break, and Lily had exhausted her last $50 on over-the-counter medicine that barely helped. The hospital hung over her like a storm cloud she couldn't escape. It was a mountain she couldn't climb, and with rent due in 6 days, Lily was facing the abyss. Her dreams of a better life, the ones she had clung to as a child, felt like a distant fantasy. When Lily was young, she had spent hours in her grandmother's kitchen dreaming of owning a bakery. Cinnamon rolls that smelled like love, lemon tarts that brought summer to life. But when her parents died in a car accident when she was just 16, everything changed. At 24, pregnant with Ella and alone, she promised herself and her daughter a better life. But here she was, 8 years later, struggling to make that promise come true. That evening, the dinner rush hit Rosie's hard. Orders piled up, and the customers' complaints grew louder. Lily moved through it all, her tired feet carrying trays of burgers, fries, and milkshakes, her smile a mask for the pain. Ella was at home with Mrs. Carter, the kind but frail neighbor who looked after her while Lily worked. But that day, when Lily had called home, she could hear the worry in Mrs. Carter's voice. Ella's cough had worsened, and Lily's heart shattered. By 9 p.m., exhaustion had claimed every muscle in Lily. When a burly man with a stained trucker hat barked at her for forgetting his ketchup, she barely managed to suppress the tears threatening to fall. "Sorry, sir," she muttered, her voice barely audible as she hurried to the kitchen. She felt as if she were failing Ella, failing herself. In the restroom, Lily locked the door behind her, collapsing into a corner, her sobs echoing off the tiles. "I'm trying, Ella. I'm trying so hard," she whispered through tears. It was in that moment of despair that Adam Foster first noticed her. At 40, Adam was a tech billionaire, the founder of a software empire, a man who could buy anything except peace. He had been raised in the very neighborhood where Rosie's Diner sat, raised on food stamps with his mother's unwavering belief in his potential. His wealth was hard-earned, but it hadn't saved him from the ghosts of his past. Adam hadn't planned on coming to Rosie's that night. He was restless after a long board meeting, his mind unable to settle. A memory tugged him through the streets of Chicago, drawing him to the diner. His mother, Grace, had loved this place. On rare good days, they would share a plate of fries and dream about a future free from struggle. She had passed away 10 years ago, but her lessons lived on. Wealth meant nothing unless it helped lift others. When Adam saw Lily, he noticed the forced smile, the way her hands trembled as she poured coffee, the tension in every movement. She was struggling, yet she carried herself with a quiet strength he couldn't ignore. His gaze followed her as she slipped into the restroom, her shoulders heavy with the weight of her life. A pang of recognition struck him. He had seen that look before. His mother years ago had worn it too. Adam's impulse was not typical. His life was a carefully planned series of moves, every decision calculated. But something about Lily made him pause, made him reconsider. As the diner quieted, Adam stood up. He approached Lily as she stacked plates, his presence felt in the air around her. "Lily, can we talk?" he asked, his voice low but steady. Lily froze, startled by the sudden attention.
Men in suits didn't come to Rosie's, and they certainly didn't know her name. "Is something wrong with your order, sir?" she asked, her voice guarded.
"No, it's not that," Adam said, choosing his words carefully. "I saw you in the restroom. You're carrying a lot, aren't you? I want to help." Lily's stomach twisted in disbelief. She had heard offers like this before. Men with money and motives. "I'm fine," she said sharply, stepping back. "I don't need charity." Adam's eyes softened. "This isn't charity," he said. "I overheard you on the phone earlier. Your daughter is sick. I'd like to cover her medical bills, all of them. And there's something else." Lily's mind raced. This was too big, too sudden. Why was he doing this? "I know you love cooking," Adam continued, his voice earnest. "I can fund a scholarship for you at the Culinary Institute of Chicago, a full ride." Lily's breath caught in her throat. A full ride? It didn't make sense. She didn't know him. Why would he offer her something so grand, so personal? "What's the catch?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "No catch," Adam said. "Just a shot at a better life for you and your daughter." Lily couldn't sleep that night. She sat at her kitchen table, the card Adam had given her clenched tightly in her hand. Ella's fever had spiked again, and Mrs. Carter's voice had been grim. "She needs a doctor, Lily, soon." Lily knew she had to act. Swallowing her pride, she dialed Adam's number. By morning, Ella was in a private room at Chicago General. Doctors swarmed her with tests and treatments. A severe respiratory infection, they said, treatable with antibiotics and rest, but the bill would have bankrupted Lily. Adam paid it without a word, his only request being that she keep him updated on Ella's recovery. The scholarship followed. Lily enrolled at the Culinary Institute of Chicago, her classes starting in September. For the first time in years, she felt a glimmer of hope. Doubt lingered, though. Adam's offer felt too perfect, too personal. Why her? At the diner, things were changing. Lily's co-workers noticed. "You're glowing, girl," Maria said, the head cook, noticing the shift. But not everyone was happy. Jake, the diner's manager, was upset by Lily's reduced hours. "You think you're too good for us now?" he sneered, throwing a rag at her. Lily bit her tongue, knowing that she needed the job until school started. Adam's presence in her life grew stronger. He introduced her to chefs, connected her with mentors, and attended her first school showcase where her lemon tart earned praise. But with this support came complications. His interest felt deeper than just mentorship. Lily couldn't shake the feeling he was searching for something in her. One evening, as Lily studied recipes in the diner's back booth, Adam arrived with a worn photo. "I need to tell you something," he said, sliding into the seat across from her. He placed the photo on the table, an image of a young woman and a teenage boy outside Rosie's. Their smiles were fragile but genuine. "This is my mother Grace and me 15 years ago. You served us here. My mother never forgot you. She left you a $50 tip, everything we had that week. She said you were the hardest worker she'd ever seen, that you deserved a break life hadn't given you." Lily's heart stopped. She remembered that day, the woman with the kind smile and the young boy barely looking up from his fries. That tip had kept the lights on for another month. "That was you?" she whispered. Adam nodded. "My mother passed a few years later. Cancer. She always said, 'Kindness changes lives.' I've spent years trying to honor her, to find people who deserve a chance. When I saw you, I knew it was you." The revelation hit Lily like a wave. That moment from so long ago had rippled forward, changing everything. But with the truth came new questions. Was Adam's help really about her, or was it about easing his own guilt? The next few years were a crucible. Culinary school was intense. Lily pushed through the doubts, the exhaustion, and the whispers of her classmates. She thrived, her hands steady, her heart full of love for Ella. Adam continued to support her, but it was clear his interest in her was deeper than just mentorship. As Lily found her strength, she discovered her worth beyond her struggles. At the Culinary Institute's annual gala, Lily's deconstructed cinnamon roll earned her top honors. Adam was there, his smile prouder than ever. 2 years later, Lily opened her own bakery, a warm haven for the community. Adam, no longer overshadowing her, cut the ribbon with a proud smile. He'd stepped back, allowing Lily to find her own strength, but their bond remained, built on shared loss and second chances. Lily handed Adam a box of lavender shortbreads. "For Grace," she said softly, "for believing in me before I believed in myself." Adam's eyes glistened. "She'd have loved this," he said. "She'd have loved you." And so Lily's bakery thrived, a beacon of hope for those who had been overlooked. Ella, now 16 and healthy, passed out samples with a smile. And as Adam watched, he knew that a single act of compassion had changed both of their lives forever.